The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Empire fell silent. The massive crystalline displays floating in the air showed the same message across every screen, written in blood-red letters. The Imperial Admiral, standing at the center of the chamber, had never looked so shaken in his 1,000 years of service. "My lords," he spoke, his voice trembling slightly, "I come before you today to issue a warning that has never been given in our 10,000 years of existence." The council members, representing over 50 advanced civilizations, leaned forward in their seats. The Admiral's golden uniform, usually pristine, showed battle damage. His left arm was in a medical stabilizer. Approximately 1 standard year ago, we discovered a new species in the outer rim of Sector 7. We labeled them as primitive spacefarers, barely able to reach their own moon. The Admiral's good hand clenched into a fist. We were wrong. So terribly wrong. The main display shifted to show images of destroyed Imperial warships, their mighty hulls torn apart like paper. The council chamber filled with gasps and whispers. These creatures, these humans, they are unlike anything we have ever encountered. The Admiral continued, his voice growing stronger. We followed standard protocol. We sent our subjugation fleet, 100 warships against their primitive vessels. We expected surrender within hours. Another image appeared, showing a small human ship, less than half the size of an Imperial cruiser. This vessel, using what we thought was inferior technology, destroyed 3 of our heavy cruisers before we could even react. They call it a destroyer, an apt name we learned too late. The council leader, her silver skin reflecting the red warning lights, spoke up. "Admiral, surely our technological superiority." "Meant nothing," the Admiral cut in. "Their weapons, while different, were devastating. They don't use standard plasma cannons or energy beams. They developed weapons we had never considered. Kinetic rail guns that tear through our shields, nuclear-tipped missiles that ignore our point defense systems, and combat tactics that—" He paused, shuddering. "That make no logical sense yet work perfectly." The displays showed more battle footage, human ships performing maneuvers that seemed suicidal, only to result in Imperial vessels being destroyed. Small fighter craft diving into the heart of Imperial formations, causing chaos and destruction. "But surely they're ground forces," another council member began. "Worse," the Admiral stated flatly. "We lost an entire legion in what they called a small skirmish. Their soldiers fight with a determination we've never seen. They don't break ranks when their leaders fall. Instead, they fight harder. They adapt to our tactics faster than our battle computers can generate new ones." The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. The Empire had conquered thousands of worlds, facing countless armies. Nothing had ever stopped their advance. "My lords, I stand before you today not to report a defeat. I stand to report something far more serious." The Admiral straightened his back, wincing from hidden injuries. "I am here to report that we have discovered a species that we cannot defeat through standard means. Their history is filled with constant warfare. They have refined the art of combat in ways we never imagined. While we fought organized, honorable battles, they perfected the art of chaos." The main display shifted one final time, showing the official Imperial warning that was now being broadcast across the galaxy. 18 all space-faring species. Seek tutor CVN. System 3. Planet Earth AK is BEEN classified as XTIN Kichayan. Levial threat. All Imperial forces are ordered to maintain minimum safe distance. Any aggressive action against human forces is strictly forbidden. This is not a drill. The Admiral looked around the chamber, his eyes meeting each council member's gaze. For the first time in our history, we are not issuing a conquest statement. We are issuing a warning. The humans are contained for now in their solar system, but they will expand. When they do, pray they come in peace, because if they come in war— He let the thought hang in the air. As the council chamber erupted in panic and desperate discussion, the admiral looked back at the battle footage. He remembered the last transmission from one of his ship captains. They don't fight like warriors. They fight like death itself. The warning continued to flash across every screen in Imperial space. Avoid CONFLICT with humans at all TOSTs. They do not know DFE8. They do not understand surrender. They only know victory or death. And somewhere, in a small solar system in Sector 7, humanity looked to the stars, unaware that they had just become the most feared species in the galaxy. 6 months earlier, the Imperial scout ship, Glory of Dawn, drifted silently at the edge of an unremarkable solar system. Captain Reed of the Earth Defense Force watched through his command ship's viewport as the alien vessel made no attempt to hide its presence. "They're scanning us, sir," reported Lieutenant Wilson from her sensor station. The bridge of the EDF Guardian remained calm despite this being humanity's first contact with alien life. Reed straightened his uniform. "Record everything. And get me a read on their capabilities." The alien ship was beautiful. A graceful curve of silver and blue metal that seemed to flow like water frozen in space. It was nearly 3 times the size of the Guardian, but sensors showed minimal weapons. This was about to become humanity's first diplomatic contact with alien life, or so they thought. Aboard the Glory of Dawn, High Scout Master Blue Wing reviewed the scan data with growing disappointment. Primitive nuclear propulsion, basic projectile weapons, no gravity control. They've barely reached their 4th planet. He flicked through more data with his upper limbs. Mark them Category 3. Suitable for standard subjugation. His second-in-command questioned, "Should we not attempt communication first?" Protocol suggests. "Protocol is for equals." Blue Wing interrupted. "These primitives still burn chemical fuel to reach space. Send the standard conquest notification and call in the subjugation fleet." Back on the Guardian, alarms suddenly blared. "Sir," Wilson's voice rose with urgency. "They're broadcasting something. It's in English." The message played through the bridge speakers. "ATTNTIO in primitive species. Your system is no property of the Galactic Empire. Prepare for integration and subjugation. Resistance will result in planetary bombardment." Reed's face hardened. "They translated our languages that fast." He pressed a button on his chair. "This is Captain James Reed of the Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact and wish to establish diplomatic relations." Blue Wing laughed when he received the response. "How cute. They think they're worthy of diplomacy." He turned to his communications officer. "Send the standard response." The Guardian's crew listened as another message arrived. "Diplomatic relations are stabilized only with civilizations of equal standing. Prepare for arrival of Imperial forces within 1 standard rotation." Reed's jaw clenched. "Send all data to Earth Command. Launch our stealth satellites, and get me everything we have on that ship's capabilities." He turned to his tactical officer. "How many ships do we have ready?" "The full defense fleet, sir. 36 ships total, plus the special projects." Reed nodded. Humanity had prepared for this possibility ever since they reached Mars. The bunkers, the hidden fleets, the orbital platforms disguised as debris. Everything was ready. They had hoped for peace but prepared for war. "Send the response I'm about to give to all Earth forces," Reed ordered. "Let's show them what primitives can do." Blue Wing was about to order his ship to leave when a final message came from the human vessel. "Imperial forces. Be advised. Earth is protected. We have survived our own wars, our own mistakes, and our own darkness. We do not go into war, but we do not fear it. Come in peace, or diontikoami et al. The Imperial captain laughed again. Such brave words from primitives. Record that for the archives. It will make an amusing addition to their subjugation history. As the glory of dawn prepared to leave, its sensors missed the small, stealthy drones that had already attached to its hull. They missed the quantum entanglement trackers humanity had developed in secret. They missed the activation of defense platforms hidden in the asteroid belt. On Earth, military bases worldwide went to full alert. Underground factories began producing weapons developed specifically for space warfare. Orbital defense platforms emerged from their camouflaged positions. Send word to all commands, Reed ordered as he watched the alien ship depart. Operation Broken Dawn is now active. All forces to battle stations. Let's show the Empire why you don't judge a species by their engines. The glory of dawn vanished into faster-than-light travel, completely unaware that they had just started a war that would change the galaxy forever. Behind it, humanity prepared for battle, ready to show the Empire why assuming technological superiority was a deadly mistake. In the depths of space, the countdown to humanity's first interstellar war had begun. 100 Imperial warships emerged from light speed near Mars, their golden hulls gleaming in the sunlight. Fleet Commander Goldspear stood proudly on his bridge, expecting an easy victory. The human ships looked tiny compared to his mighty fleet. "My lord," his sensor officer reported, "we count only 36 enemy vessels. They appear to be gathering near their red planet." Goldspear smiled. "Send the final warning. Give them one chance to surrender." As is tradition, the human fleet, spread out in what seemed to be a disorganized pattern, received the message. On the bridge of the EDF Guardian, Captain Reed read it aloud to his crew. "Surrender now or be destroyed." Reed pressed his command console. "All ships, remember your training. Broken arrow formation. Let them come to us." He looked at his tactical display, where dozens of hidden weapons platforms blinked their ready signals. "Let's show them what primitives can do." The Imperial fleet moved forward in perfect formation, their energy weapons charging. Goldspear watched with satisfaction. "Such a small fleet. This will be over quickly." His words were cut short as the space around his fleet erupted in chaos. Hidden railgun platforms, disguised as space debris, opened fire. Chunks of metal accelerated to near-light speed, tore through Imperial shields designed to stop energy weapons. 3 Imperial ships exploded before they could react. "Impossible," Goldspear shouted. "Their weapons are just physical projectiles." How did they? More surprises awaited. The human fleet split into smaller groups, moving in patterns that seemed random but were precisely calculated. Nuclear missiles, cloaked with technology reverse engineered from studying the scout ship's hull, slipped through Imperial defenses. "My lord," the Imperial tactical officer screamed. "They're missiles. They're appearing inside our shield perimeters." The space around Mars turned into a graveyard of Imperial ships. The human vessels, while fewer in number, struck with devastating precision. They had studied the scout ship's technology and prepared countermeasures for everything they found. Reed's voice came over the Imperial command channel. "You thought we were primitive because we still use physical weapons. Let us show you why we never stopped improving them." Another wave of railgun fire struck the Imperial fleet. The humans had turned asteroids into weapons platforms, hiding their guns inside what looked like natural space rocks. Each shot was guided by AI systems that learned and adapted with every passing second. "They're targeting our shield generators," an Imperial officer realized too late. "These patterns, they're not random. They're hurting us." He was right. The human fleet's chaotic movements had pushed the Imperial ships into a killing zone. Hidden EMP weapons, based on technology humans had developed for their own wars, activated. Imperial ships lost power for crucial seconds. Goldspear watched in horror as his perfect formation fell apart. How? They're supposed to be primitive. They're supposed to be easy. "Sir, Wilson called out on the Guardian's bridge. Imperial ships are attempting to regroup. Permission to launch Operation Thunderstrike. Reed nodded. All ships, execute Thunderstrike. Show them what Earth's primitive technology can really do. Small, drone-like devices launched from the human ships. The Imperial fleet ignored them, focusing on the larger threats. This was their final mistake. The drones attached to their hulls and began drilling, releasing swarms of nanomachines that Earth had developed in secret. "My lord," Gold Spear's engineer cried out. "Something is eating through our hulls. It's taking control of our systems." Within minutes, 20 Imperial ships had been completely disabled. 30 more were severely damaged. The remaining ships tried to retreat, but the humans had positioned their forces perfectly to cut off their escape routes. Reed opened a channel to all Imperial ships. "This is your only warning. Withdraw now, or we will be forced to demonstrate more of our primitive capabilities." Gold Spear, watching his mighty fleet in ruins, gave the order to retreat. As his surviving ships fled, he sent an urgent message to Imperial Command. "Humans not primitive. REPE. Humans not primitive. Weapons unknown. Tactics human pre-oriented. Request immediate reinforcements." The battle lasted less than an hour. As the Imperial ships vanished into light speed, Reed looked at the tactical display showing their losses. 2 ships damaged, none destroyed. The Empire had lost 40 ships destroyed, 30 disabled, and the rest damaged. "Send word to Earth," Reed ordered. "First battle successful, but they'll be back. And next time, they'll be ready for these tricks. We need more surprises." The stars seemed to shine brighter that day, witnessing humanity's first victory against the greatest empire in the galaxy. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. 2 weeks after the first battle, Earth's long-range sensors detected a massive energy spike. The Empire was returning, and this time they weren't taking any chances. In the Empire's forward command ship, Grand Fleet Master White Claw reviewed the new battle plans. 500 ships, our most advanced weapons, and full authorization to use any force necessary. He turned to his tactical staff. "We will not underestimate these humans again." The Imperial reinforcement fleet emerged from light speed in a sphere formation, surrounding the entire solar system. Their ships now carried modified shields, designed to stop physical projectiles. They had studied the first battle carefully. But humans had been busy too. Captain Reed stood in Earth's new underground command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the Imperial fleet's positions. "They've adapted to our first strategy," he noted. "Good thing we didn't plan to use it again." "All combat AI systems are active," reported Wilson, now promoted to commander. "Ghost Fleet is in position." The Empire made its first move, launching a massive barrage of energy weapons at Earth's known defense positions. But they hit nothing. All the platforms they targeted were empty decoys. White Claw frowned. "Where are their weapons? Where are they hiding?" The answer came from an unexpected direction. Small objects, appearing to be normal communication satellites, suddenly split apart. Inside each one was a miniature fusion reactor. They detonated in carefully planned sequences, creating electromagnetic pulses that rippled through space in overlapping waves. "Shields holding," reported an Imperial officer. "These pulses are not strong enough to." He never finished his sentence. The EMPs weren't meant to disable their ships. They were meant to create a sensor dead zone. In that artificial electromagnetic storm, Earth's Ghost Fleet attacked. Stealth ships, completely black and covered in radar-absorbing materials, struck from point-blank range. They had been hiding in plain sight, powered down and drifting with their heat signatures masked. Multiple hull breaches, screamed Imperial commanders across the fleet. "Cannot locate enemy vessels." White Claw watched in frustration as his neat formation dissolved into chaos. The humans were using the Empire's own tight formation against them. Ships were firing blindly, sometimes hitting their own allies in the confusion. But the Empire hadn't come unprepared. They launched their new weapon, self-replicating combat drones. Thousands of them filled space, searching for human ships. Reed smiled when he saw them. Activate the virus. The Empire had copied some of Earth's nanotechnology from the first battle. But humans had expected this. Hidden in the code of their captured nanomachines was a backdoor, waiting to be activated. The Imperial drones suddenly turned, attacking their own ships. The Empire had just armed Earth with thousands of weapons. Impossible. White Claw slammed his command console. How do they think of these strategies? The answer came from Wilson, broadcast on all frequencies. We've had practice. Thousands of years of fighting ourselves. Every dirty trick, every desperate plan, every crazy idea. We've tried them all. You just gave us a bigger playground. The battle raged for hours. The Empire's superior numbers began to tell, slowly pushing back Earth's forces. But that was part of the plan too. They're following us, Reed noted as Earth's fleet retreated towards Jupiter, right where we want them. Jupiter's massive bulk hid Earth's biggest surprise. The gas giant's strong magnetic field had been transformed into a weapon. Hidden stations around the planet activated, turning the magnetosphere into a ship-crushing field. Imperial ships found their metal hulls twisted by forces they couldn't fight. The lucky ones escaped with severe damage. The others were crushed like tin cans. White Claw gave the retreat order, but only after losing half his fleet. As his ships fled, he received a transmission from Earth. Next time, bring your whole empire. We'll wait. We've got plenty more surprises. In the aftermath, Reed looked at the casualty reports. Earth had lost more ships this time, but they had proved something important. Send word to all commands, he ordered. Phase 2 begins now. The Empire thinks they've seen our best tricks. Let's show them how wrong they are. As repair crews worked to rebuild Earth's defenses, the planet's factories went into overdrive. New weapons were being built, ones that would make the Empire regret ever hearing the word human. The next battle would make this one look like a warm-up. Humanity was just getting started. The Imperial Council had enough. After 2 humiliating defeats in space, they decided to send in their elite ground forces. The Imperial Legion had never failed to conquer a planet in 10,000 years. Supreme Commander Iron Fist stood in his command ship, watching the massive invasion fleet approach Earth. 1 million troops. Our best warriors. The most advanced battle machines in the galaxy. This ends today. Earth's cities had gone dark. Underground bunkers held billions of civilians. On the surface, everything looked abandoned. The Empire's initial scans showed no resistance. Sir, Captain Reed addressed the United Earth Defense Council. They're launching dropships. Estimated 200,000 troops in the first wave. General Martinez, Earth's ground force commander, stepped forward. Let them land. Let them think they've won. The Imperial dropships landed in waves across Earth's continents. The elite troops in powered armor marched out, their weapons ready. They expected resistance. They found empty cities. Iron Fist watched from orbit. Something's wrong. This is too easy. He was right. The ground cracked open beneath the Imperial forces. Hidden bunkers revealed massive combat mechs, 30-meter-tall war machines that humanity had built in secret. Unlike the elegant Imperial machines, these were brutal, practical, and designed for one purpose: warfare. All units, engage. Martinez's order rang out. Show them why humans have been fighting on the ground since we could walk. The Imperial troops found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere. Humans had turned their own cities into weapons. Buildings collapsed on command, streets became traps, and every window could hide a sniper. They're in the sewers. An Imperial commander screamed before his signal went dead. Underground tunnels, built over centuries, let human forces strike and disappear. Iron Fist watched in horror as his elite troops were torn apart. How are they doing this? Where did they learn these tactics? The answer came from 1,000 years of human warfare. Every strategy, every cruel trick, every desperate plan ever used in Earth's wars was being unleashed on the Imperial forces. Guerrilla fighters struck from hidden positions. Modern tanks, designed to look primitive to Imperial scanners, revealed their true power. Earth's mechs, piloted by humans linked directly to their machines, fought with a fury that shocked the Empire. "Sir," an Imperial officer reported, "their weapons, they're not just killing our troops. They're learning from each fight." He was right. Earth's combat AI systems were analyzing every battle, every death, adapting tactics in real time. What worked was repeated. What failed was discarded. The humans were evolving their strategy by the minute. Martinez activated Earth's next surprise. Hidden EMP weapons, designed specifically for Imperial armor, turned their advanced suits into metal coffins. Specialized sound weapons, operating at frequencies that affected Imperial biology, left entire battalions helpless. How? Iron Fist demanded. How do they know our weaknesses? The answer was simple. Humans had been preparing for this fight since they first looked at the stars. They had built weapons to counter every possible alien technology they could imagine. Imperial dropships tried to evacuate their troops. Urban combat turned into a slaughter. Earth's cities, which looked primitive from orbit, revealed themselves to be carefully designed killing grounds. "All units, retreat," Iron Fist finally ordered. But it was too late for many of his troops. In the end, of the 1,000,000 troops sent to conquer Earth, less than half made it back to their ships. The greatest ground force in galactic history had been defeated in less than a day. Martinez stood in the ruins of what had been New York, watching Imperial ships flee into space. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Phase 3 begins now. We're taking the fight to them." Captain Reed received the message in orbit. "All ships, prepare for Operation Starfall. It's time to show the Empire why you should never, ever invade Earth." As the Imperial fleet retreated, they carried with them a terrifying truth. Humans weren't just good at space combat. They were masters of warfare in all its forms. Each Imperial survivor told stories of human ferocity, of strategies they had never imagined, of an entire species that seemed born for battle. The Empire had started this war expecting an easy victory. Now they faced their greatest nightmare, a species that not only could fight back, but seemed to enjoy doing it. The real war was about to begin. In the great halls of the Imperial Palace, the High Council gathered for an emergency meeting. The holographic displays showed their worst defeat in 10,000 years. Earth forces had not only defended their planet, but had started pushing into Imperial space. "Impossible," whispered the Imperial High Commander, watching footage of human ships destroying another Imperial fleet. "We need to understand what we're fighting against." The Empire's greatest scholars and military minds had spent weeks studying human history. What they found terrified them. Chief Scholar Grey Mind stood before the council, his hands shaking as he held his report. "My lords, we have made a terrible mistake. These humans, they are unlike anything we have ever seen." The display changed to show Earth's history of warfare. The council watched in horror as thousands of years of human conflict played before them. "Look at this," Grey Mind pointed. "When they couldn't fly, they fought on the ground. When they couldn't reach their enemies, they built machines to do it. Every problem, every defeat, just made them stronger." Another screen showed human weapons development. From simple spears to nuclear weapons, from basic guns to space-based weaponry. "They never stopped," the scholar continued. "Every other species we've encountered developed weapons only when needed. Humans, they never stopped preparing, never stopped improving." The council watched footage from Earth's latest attack on an Imperial base. Human ships used tactics that seemed insane, until they worked. Soldiers fought in ways that defied Imperial military doctrine. "Their entire history is warfare," Grey Mind explained. "Not just against others, but against themselves. Every tactic we know, They discovered centuries ago. Every strategy we use, they've already found a counter for. An Imperial general spoke up, surely with our technology. That's another problem, interrupted Greymind. Look at this. He showed how humans had hidden their true technological level. They deliberately appeared primitive. Everything we saw was a trap, designed to make us underestimate them. The displays showed more battles, human ships using Imperial technology against them, improving it in ways the Empire had never considered. Earth weapons combining principles the Empire had thought incompatible. They don't think like us, Greymind continued. When we find a successful strategy, we perfect it. When humans find one, they immediately start looking for ways to counter it, even if no one is fighting them. The council chamber fell silent as they watched Earth forces begin systematic attacks on Imperial supply lines. The humans weren't just fighting. They were learning, adapting, getting stronger with each battle. And worst of all, Greymind's voice dropped to a whisper. They're enjoying this. Look at their communications, their battle songs, their warrior culture. They live for this. The Imperial High Commander stood up. What are you saying? I'm saying we made the worst possible mistake. We didn't just wake a sleeping giant. We gave it a reason to fight. Their entire history was preparation for this moment. More footage played. Human ships now using captured Imperial technology, but better than the Empire ever had. Earth forces adapting faster than Imperial commanders could respond. They're not just fighting us, Greymind concluded. They're using this war to become stronger. Every battle teaches them. Every defeat makes them more dangerous. And now, the main display showed the latest intelligence. Massive shipyards being built on Earth, new weapons being developed, human forces preparing for a major offensive. Now they're coming for us, the scholar finished. Not just to defend themselves, but because we showed them there were new enemies to fight, new wars to wage, new battles to win. The council chamber erupted in worried discussions. For the first time in Imperial history, they faced a species that didn't just resist conquest. It thrived on the attempt. The High Commander looked at the latest battle reports. Human forces had captured 3 more Imperial systems. Their ships were appearing everywhere, using tactics that changed too fast to counter. We have awakened something, he said quietly. Not just a new enemy. We have discovered a species that turns war itself into a strength. The Council reached its decision. For the first time in Imperial history, they would send out a warning, not to humans, but to every other species in the galaxy. Stay away from Earth. The humans are not to be provoked. This is not a war we can win. As the warning went out, human ships continued their advance into Imperial space, ready to show the galaxy why Earth had never known lasting peace, because humans had never stopped preparing for war. 1 year after the first contact, the galaxy had changed forever. The mighty Imperial fleet, once the unchallenged ruler of space, had retreated to its core systems. A new power had emerged, humanity. In Earth's new Space Command Center, Captain Reed, now Admiral Reed, stood before the United Earth Council. The holographic displays showed human ships patrolling what was once Imperial space. The Empire has withdrawn all forces beyond the Red Line, Reed reported, pointing to a boundary marking human-controlled space. They've abandoned 30 star systems to create a buffer zone between us and them. General Martinez, his armor still bearing scars from the ground war, stepped forward. And the other alien species. Running scared, Reed smiled. The Empire's warning has spread everywhere. Look at this. The main screen showed alien ships changing course to avoid human space. Trade routes were being redrawn. Entire civilizations were building new defenses, not against the Empire, but against the possibility of human expansion. We've been classified as an extinction-level threat by the Galactic Council, Reed continued, the first species to ever receive this designation. The council chamber filled with quiet laughter. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive, was now the most feared species in known space. But here's the interesting part. Reed pointed to new data streaming in. Look at what the Empire is doing. Images showed Imperial ships copying human tactics, Imperial troops training with human-style weapons. They were learning, adapting, trying to understand how humans fought. They're preparing, Martins noted. Smart of them. Yes, but there's more. Reed changed the display. We're receiving messages, not from the Empire, but from other species. They want to talk. The Council leaned forward. After a year of war, the first real chance for peaceful contact had arrived. They're fascinated by us, Reed explained. Terrified, yes, but fascinated. The Empire ruled through pure force for 10,000 years. We broke them in 1 year. Now everyone wants to know how. The display showed messages from dozens of species. Some wanted trade agreements. Others offered technology exchanges. A few brave ones even suggested military alliances. So, Council Leader Thompson asked, "What do we do now?" Reed smiled. "We do what humans have always done. We adapt. We were ready for war. Now let's show them we're ready for peace." New images appeared, designs for trading posts, diplomatic stations, cultural exchange centers. Humanity was planning to build something the Empire never had, a community of equals. But we keep the defenses, Martinez added quickly. And the research, and the training. Of course, Reed nodded. Peace through strength. The human way. The Council voted unanimously. Earth would open its borders for peaceful contact while maintaining its military readiness. They would show the galaxy both sides of humanity. The warriors who could break an empire, and the diplomats who could build a better one. In deep space, the first human diplomatic ships launched. They carried a message to the galaxy. To all species, humanity extends an open hand of friendship. We did not want war with the Empire, but we were ready for it. Now we are ready for peace. Come meet us. Trade with us. Learn with us. But remember what happened to those who came as conquerors. The Empire watched from their core worlds as human influence spread. Their warning had backfired. Instead of isolating Earth, it had made humanity the most interesting species in the galaxy. They're doing it again, the Imperial High Commander noted, watching human ships escort alien traders, turning a disadvantage into strength, making allies of those who should fear them. In Earth's shipyards, new vessels were still being built, but now they carried both weapons and trading goods. Humanity had learned long ago that peace and war were two sides of the same coin. Admiral Reed stood on his bridge, watching an alien diplomatic ship approach Earth. "Send the standard greeting," he ordered, "and keep the defense grid ready, just in case." The stars seemed brighter now, full of possibility rather than threat. Humanity had proven itself in war. Now it would prove itself in peace. But deep in their bunkers and bases, humans kept preparing, kept improving, kept ready. Because if there was one thing human history had taught them, it was this. The best way to keep peace was to stay ready for war. The galaxy had learned to fear humans. Now it would learn to respect them. And maybe, just maybe, to call them friends.